think it's pretty clear by now, the alpha phase of Star Citizen is not an ordinary gaming experience, but more one-of-a-kind journey that takes place both in the game and in online discussions, on the RSI webpage and in both real-world and digital events where ships are shown off, systems are pushed to their limits and we backers get a chance to throw more money at CIG to get our hands on the next shiny toy. One of these digital events, Invictus Launch Week, is upon us from the 20th to the 31st of May, 2022. Or as it's known in the verse, the year 2952. During Invictus, we will get to see some amazing expositions, learn more about the United Empire of Earth Navy, or UEN for short. But the possibly most important part of the event, and this might be difficult to believe, but during these 10 days, no matter if you've been playing the game for years or you haven't even decided to buy it yet, one and all are welcome to download and play the game for 10 days and fly over 100 ship variants for free. Over 100 ships. Welcome to a slightly different kind of video from what I usually make. Here are those ships.
Right. That was fun. You're listening to Last Stop by White Bat Audio, by the way. Huge shout out to that guy. Welcome to well, let's just call it an attempt to show off all the ships that you might be looking forward to for Invictus. Now, like my very fancy high production value intro explained, there's an event coming up, and for those of you who don't know, Invictus is one of the 2 yearly events where this game is completely free to download and play. And not only can you play the game, but you'll get access to tons of ships and stuff that would normally be either possible to rent or buy in game after grinding and making your way up the ladder. Some of these ships are so beyond what's usable for a single person that there's no point in you trying them out by yourself, but you might still have an interest checking them out, just looking at them. While others are perfect one-seaters for you to jump out and enjoy the verse. But yeah, let's not hang around here and talk about it. Let's have a look. Now, first off is the ANVIL Aero. Right, so let me just get my facts straight here. Okay, that's the lowest the music will go, but that's fine. We need a little bit of a backdrop. Alright, so you're looking at the ANVIL Aero. This is one of the light fighters in the game. And being extremely aerodynamic and agile, it's claimed to be the most agile ship in its class. That's what it says on the page anyways. But the X-Wing, Scorpius, might have something to say about that. Good news, you'll be able to try them both, but let's do the Arrow first, one of the fighters. You'll definitely want to check this out. Wait, is this a medium fighter? It does have a roof-mounted turret, so I guess it might be a medium fighter. Not sure. You'll be able to test this ship and the 10 more ships I'll be mentioning now on May 20th, from the first day of Invictus until the second day, May 21st. Next to the Arrow, you'll be able to get your hands on a ballista. Now, the ballista is one of the first heavy ground vehicles we got access to. It's an awesome armored vehicle for taking down aerial threats, anti-air system, huge damage potential. Might be fun to drive around with. Not everything in a space game has to happen in space. Definitely give it a try. Next up, we have the Pisces. Now the Pisces, the ANVIL C8X Pisces, is a small. A lot of people see it as one of the best starters, even though it's technically not a starter, I think. It's a very good small all-rounder, and because of its compact size, it's very popular to use to park inside the larger ships. Like here we can see in this image, it's parked actually inside the hangar on top of the Carrack. The Carrack, as you can see here, might have been one of the most anticipated ships in Star Citizen before its release, and after its release it's still enjoying the same level of popularity. It's an amazing ship, perfect medium. Well, it's a multi-crew explorer, right? The Carrack is the home away from home, they say. It's made for long-range exploration, and like you just saw, you can have a Pisces on top, and here you can also see something coming out of its ramp there. You can fit a couple of vehicles inside it as well. This is very good for bringing a lot of equipment on your expedition. And like I said, it's a multi-crew ship, meaning it's perfect if you have a couple of friends that you want to do missions or exploration with. It also does have some hefty cannons, so don't be afraid to take this bad boy into a fight. Just don't think you'll be able to face down a hammerhead, but yeah, beautiful, beautiful ship. I didn't think much of it until I had a walk inside it, and it's definitely top tier ship for its class. If you haven't seen this up close, definitely give it a go. No matter if you're playing by yourself or not, you can fly this baby on your own, but it will get lonely. It's made for a multi-crew. Right. Now, next up on our list is something completely different. The F7C Hornet. Now, there are several versions of the F7C, or the Hornet, let's just call it the Hornet. Now, the one we're looking at here is just the regular Hornet, I think. A good medium fighter with turrets, and I think there's a slave to the pilot, and good good amount of firepower there, both on the nose and on the wings, and I think it also carries a decent amount of missiles, so you'll be doing good in a fight with the Hornet, no doubt. Other versions are a tracker version, where the turret gun is swapped out for an advanced radar system, so you don't have this turret up here, but a scanner that is highly efficient at searching for targets you're tracking. Perfect for the asteroid traversing bounty hunter, I guess. You also have the Ghost, the F7CS Ghost, meant to keep a very low profile, not giving off much of a signal or signature. And then you have the M variant, the Super Hornet, which is a two-seater, so you can get this ship with an extra seat and even more firepower. Yeah, definitely want to check out if you're all about the dogfighting and the light fighters. You'll definitely want to have a look at the Hornet. Next up on the list is the Gladiator. The Gladiator is another two-person ship, but this one is meant to be used as a dive bomber. Not too much air-to-ground combat happening these days, but you'll definitely be able to make some noise up in the air as well. Yeah, not much to say about that. Next on the list is the Hawk. Now, the Hawk is one of the higher esteemed single-player PvP fighters. So if you want to fly out there and fight player targets, maybe as a bounty hunter, this one is agile enough to be amongst the ones you'll be recommended. Again, these first 2 days of Invictus, you will get access to a very good loadout of fighters. I just call them fighters. And this one is definitely one of the better ones for that purpose. Next on the list is the Hurricane. The Hurricane is extremely high DPS with this turret up here, but I think that's a manned turret, so you'll need to be 2 players to fully utilize the Hurricane. However, I've heard people swear to it as a single player ship as well. So, and that's, again, if you're new to Star Citizen, this will strike you as exceptionally I don't know if it's exceptionally, but it's, to me, it's interesting to how large a scale ships are individually loved and hated by different people. It's much more about taste than meta and good and bad and stuff like this. Next on the list, we have another ground vehicle, the Spartan. Came out not too long ago, and as you can see from this image, it's an armored personnel carrier capable of fitting, I think it's 8, let's see, 8 armored personnel, and it has some space for weapons and loadouts as well. Heavily armored, very good all-terrain, and with a turret on the roof, a remote turret on the roof. Next on the list is one of my favorite aesthetics in the game, the ANVIL Terrapin. It's a heavily armored ship with a sophisticated scanner, as it says here. It's basically a recon ship, recon and exploration, but not long range as much as local exploration. For example, like here in the screenshot, in an asteroid field. Very good for anything from basic recon to specialized mining recon, for example. Well, with some caveats, but okay. I don't know, I just like the style of it. It's called the Turtle, from its turtle shell shape. Love it. Next up on the list, and the final ship that you'll be able to try on May 20th and 21st is the Valkyrie. Valkyrie is the dropship right now, as far as I know. So if you have a ton of troops that you want to drop on the ground, maybe even let's see, we had oh, come on, didn't we have like no, not that one. Never mind. You can dump some heavy firepower with this ship. It's also got some pew by itself, but it's first and foremost meant for quickly deploying a large amount of troops in the middle of the battle zone, or as they say here, a heavily armed dropship, perfect for full crew expeditions. So yeah, tough to take down, bites back, and carries a spunk load of bad boys. Alright. Moving on to May 22nd, and I hope you've been keeping up and busy trying out all the ANVIL ships, because that's it for ANVIL Aerospace. Now, May 22nd, we move into Aegis, and we start off our list with the most iconic Aegis ship, the Aegis Avenger. Now, there will be 4 variants available for you to play with of this one. This in the image is the Avenger Titan, maybe the most used ship that is not in the cheapest starter packages. If you're flying an Aurora or a Mustang starter pack, the $45 starter pack, and you say, what should I upgrade my game package to? Everybody will point you to this ship, because it's basically what they do, but better. The Avenger Titan that we're looking at here is a ship that has a very fine balance between cargo capacity, a couple of SUs actually, a large cargo hold for its size, but with some decent firepower as well. Comes equipped with some gimbaled weapons. You can switch those out for even larger fixed weapons. It has a decent shield and armor, so you'll be able to take a beating and get out of it before you blow up. And like I said, decent amount of cargo space in the back. Now you have 3 other versions. Well, the Renegade technically is the same version with a slightly different loadout. The Avenger Stalker does not have the cargo space, but does have the prison cells to carry bounty prisoners. So if you catch a bounty, put them in a prison cell and cash in the price without having to kill anybody. Right. And then you also have the Warlock, which is starting to catch some wind. It flies with an EMP generator, so the entire cargo hull is swapped out for an EMP, electromagnetic pulse generator, that can disable electronics and, well, enemy vehicles. Very powerful ship there, at a very affordable price, as it's quite a small one. Next on our list is the Eclipse, and I chose this image because I feel it best displays what the ship does. It's a bomber. It's basically the Star Citizen equivalent of the B-12, if you're familiar with it, the stealth bomber. So it's a sleek stealth bomber with heavy torpedoes. I think it's size 9 torpedoes or something. Good for some sneaky big time ground damage. Will probably be a lot more relevant way in the future when base building is a thing. At the moment though, it's it can still be fun. Right, next on the list is quite the opposite. It's not stealthy and it's not far in the future. The Gladius. The Gladius is currently the go-to PvP fighter. It's not the strong. It doesn't have the strongest shields or the highest DPS, damage per second, but it does have extremely good flying characteristics. So if you want some serious PvP action and you want easy mode, as long as you know what you're doing with your sticks, this is the ship to go for. So yeah, there are several other worthy fighters for PvP, but this one is like the all-round meta. Right. Next on our list, we have a quite much larger ship that is all about the DPS. The Aegis Hammerhead. The Hammerhead is the definition of a gunship. It's a multi-crew corvette class with I don't know how many man turrets, 5, 6 man turrets, so you need a large crew to fully utilize this bad boy, but if you do, you'll eat anything that comes your way for breakfast. Meetings. Great ship, really interesting, cool design. It's called the Hammerhead because of this characteristic head, looking like a hammerhead shark. not much else to say there. Also, it has a very unique, that's interesting experience. It has a very unique outlook from the, this is the bridge right here. So it's basically ideal for air-to-ground destruction. Though you'll mostly see it in air-to-air, space-to-space combat, because it's just so goddamn good in all directions. As long as you have manned all those turrets, it doesn't matter if anyone tries to fly around, you can tear them apart with at least 3 turrets at all times, no matter where they are. So yeah, great ship. Next on the list is another, also classified as a gunship, I think, but in a much smaller scale, the Redeemer. Fun fact about the Redeemer, this one was designed by fans of the game. It won a design contest back in, I don't know, what was it, 2017, 2018? Where fans could send in a design that CIG would turn into an actual flyable spaceship in game. So yeah, kudos to those guys. Very sleek, dolphin-looking profile with very special set of thrusters on the side here, the nutcrackers as they're known. They open and close depending on what kind of thrust you need. Interesting little design, and a very strong ship in combat with great shields and weapons. Yeah. Next on the list is another one that might be further down the line for most of you. The Retaliator Bomber. Long-range anti-capital ship bomber. So it's it has a lot of firepower, turrets, and some huge torpedoes. Capable of launching size 9 torpedoes. Yeah, so there we go. Not air-to-ground maybe only, but also air-to-air. Those torpedoes are very effective in space. And size 9, come on. I mean, WTF, bro. Right, I haven't actually tried this myself. Didn't know it was in-game even. Obviously it is, and you'll be able to fly it on May 22nd to 23rd. Again, 2 days with Aegis Dynamics. We're not done yet though. Next on the list is the Saber. What? Wait, what? The Saber, thank you. Now, the Saber also comes in 2 variants, but the Saber Comet, which is the special variant, is just different loadout and some different paint job. So, I don't know what to say about this. It's a very decent fighter. Very agile, high firepower. It says that it doesn't have so much durability, but I'm honestly not sure if that's true. Well, again, or not again, I haven't actually said anything about that yet, but I'm not much of a fighter myself, even though I have a Gladius. I did a better job in the Avenger Titan than I'm doing in the Gladius, because the Avenger Titan has better shields, even though it's a shit fighter, but I'm a shit pilot, so there we go. Anyways, this guy is also on the recommended PvP fighters, even though I don't think it scores as well as the Hawk or the Gladius. But again, all opinion and all taste. They have different flight profiles, they have different strengths and weaknesses, different feels, and different looks, of course. So yeah, never take a recommendation as sign that one thing is better than another, just that somebody likes it better. Right. Disclaimers out of the way. The Vanguards. The Aegis Vanguard. Now you have 4 variants here, and those are actual variants with huge variations. One of them, or 2 of them actually being the same as the Avenger. But these are flyable. They have been flyable a while, I think. So first you have the Vanguard Harbinger, which is a bomber again. But I think these have pretty much the flight profile of fighters, so I call them fighters. But the Harbinger, the Vanguard Harbinger, is a bomber. The Vanguard Hoplite is a dropship. So can fit a crew of ground troops to be dropped. And then you have the Sentinel. The Sentinel, I believe, is set up with an EMP, like the one of the Avengers. All it says in the description is it's designed to fly smart, fight smart instead of taking enemies head on. I could be bothered to look it up on the website, but honestly I'm not right now. And then of course you have the Vanguard Warden, which is also recommended, maybe not for PvP as much as for whatchamacallit, bounty hunting PvE. Right. Now next, and oh damn, that was the last one of the Aegis. So a lot of fighters again, a lot of fun things. Remember, Invictus is all about the military ships. It's all about the military. The Navy are trying to recruit you. God damn, so much noise, hold on. The Navy are trying to recruit you, and they're doing it by showing you all their best toys. I guess could be the lore-friendly way of saying it. So we're absolutely not done with the fighters, but now we're moving into May 24th, and here we'll have a little bit more variation. First off is Robert Space Industries, or RSI. Now RSI are the proud creators behind the Claustrophobia Simulator 2000. Now, like seriously, the RSI Aurora is the tightest space that still offers actual like sleeping quarters. It has a bed, it has a little bit of floor space where you can put boxes if you need to transport a small amount of cargo, like carrying size cargo. And then of course you have the Aurora LN, which is on display here during this event. It's not to be mistaken with the MR, which is the one you'll get if you buy the Aurora starter package. The LN is more suited for actual combat, with its loadout and everything. Next on the list, but yeah. Oh, by the way, big heads up on this one. If you decide to buy Star Citizen and you want to go in minimum amount, just a $45 package, unless you only want to sorry, this is so beautiful. Unless you only want to do dogfighting, PvPing, bounty hunting, get the Aurora, not the Mustang. Just to have the flexibility and the it's versatile. Fuck it. And it's actually quite decent in combat as well if you just equip it right. So yeah, the Aurora. Big shout out there to the best, cheapest ship in the verse. And of course, easily just grab this one, do some box delivery missions or some investigation or some bounty hunting. You can do some light bounty hunting with this, maybe not the heaviest targets, but definitely the ones you get early on. You can do them with this, and by the time you get heavier targets, you'll have more than enough money to rent or buy heftier fighters. Talking about heftier ships, Robert Space Industries are also the people behind the Constellation. You have 4 versions of the Constellation. The Andromeda, which is the one in the back, is a freighter with a modular design, and one of the first ships that were designed, I think, in like the early Star Citizen backing days. I wasn't there myself, but I've heard that. Then you also have the Constellation Aquila, which is the closest, no, sorry, the left one. The Aquila is more geared towards exploration instead of cargo freight. So this one has like enhanced sensors and stuff designed for visibility and discoverability, right? Then closest to us you have the Constellation Taurus, configured for cargo space above all. So not the modular design, not the benefits of sensors or anything, just cargo. A recommended baby's first multi-crew ship, it says here. But if I ever get my hands on any of these 4 ships, it's the 4th and last one, the white and gold trim in the back, the Constellation Phoenix. To put it the way they put it here, a chariot of the gods. This converted luxury freighter is perfect for VIP transport. It has very beautiful interiors, a beautiful bar area, lounge area, meeting area, and a jacuzzi. So yeah, there we go. Right. Next on the Robert Space Industries list, 24th to 25th of May, is the RSI Mantis. This one is, as I understand it, it will have a mechanic to arrest ships in movement. I'm not really sure about this one, I haven't looked too much into it. But I think it's very good at interrupting quantum travel. But as quantum interception isn't a thing yet, it's a little bit hard to say exactly how that will work. So yeah, let's just take it for a spin if you want. If you like the idea of being able to pull down long distance traveling targets, then this will be able to do that. Right. Now the next one on our list might be the most exciting one to many, even though everyone playing the Persistent Test universe, the PTU, already have had their eyes on it. The most recent reveal or delivery in the verse, the X-Wing, I'm just kidding, the Scorpius. Oh, obviously it's very X-Wingy, but as far as I understand, people are loving it. Sounds like it might be a little bit too good at the moment, and CIG are not afraid of rebalancing, so make sure that you know, if you fly this one and think, oh my god, this was joy to fly, I want this, I want to pay CIG money for this, know that it will be nerfed, unless I'm mistaken. It might still be the best or one of the best at agile aerodynamic movement, but I've heard people say RSI think it got a little bit too good, so they're looking into how to rebalance it. It's described as the next evolution in heavy combat, interception and defense, an adaptable bi-wing configuration and revolutionary rail-mounted remote turret. I think that turret can, the rail-mounted part is that it can go on top or below, not 100% there. But yeah, if you want a fun heavy fighter, give it a spin. You won't be disappointed. Right, next on the list. Right, do you remember when I talked about that dropship earlier? This was the image I was thinking about. That's in the background, I think that's the Valkyrie. But in the foreground is the Robert Space Industries Ursa rover, built specifically for plant-side exploration. It's military grade, all-terrain capabilities. It does have a turret, but it's not much to write home about. And it does have internal space, but it's not, again, it's not the go-to armored personnel carrier, but it can definitely be nice to have this between you and the enemy in the field. So yeah, that's the Ursa rover, and that's the last Robert Space Industries ship or ground vehicle that you'll be able to try out. Sorry, that music is a little bit too loud. There we go. Probably been too loud for the last 30 minutes. But that won't stop me not doing this twice. Right, but we're not done with the 24th and 25th of May, because these 2 days, 3 more producers, 3 more companies are on the list. From Origin JUMPWORKS, the creators of Luxury and Delicacy, comes the Origin 125A with souped up weapons package and refinement. It's luxury made combat ready. One thing these ships are very famous for is their insanely good fuel efficiency. Depending on the atmosphere, you might never run out of hydrogen fuel because their fuel scoop is that efficient that as long as you're in Atmo, they will replenish their fuel 100% no matter what you do. So you'll be flying for hours. And since it's a luxury Origin ship, you'll also be comfortable while doing it. Origin also will show up with their 325A, which is more of well, it's more of a it's still a fighter, and this one is a fighter, but it's larger. Still has great fuel efficiency, but I don't think you can go forever like you can with the 125. But the 325 is it does have some interior space and bed and so forth, and again with the comfort and the sophistication and the style and just Origin design is beautiful. You really need to see it up close to feel the luxury of the details of these ships. Definitely recommend to have a look, and a lot of people also recommend this as a great starter if you want to throw a little bit of extra money at the project and feel for some luxury cruising. Right, that's it for Origin. They're not big on the military ships, really. We also have one contribution from Consolidated Outland. No, it's not, unfortunately, the Nomad. It is the Mustang. The Mustang Delta, specifically, exists in several versions, but the Delta is armed with heavy weapons and rocket pods, and is the other $45 starter package that you can choose next to the Aurora that we looked at earlier. So this one you can also give it a test flight on the 24th to 25th of May. So of course, if you want to give it a legitimate consideration, take it for a spin. But be careful to know that it does not have a bed, does not have cargo space. It's very limited starter ship as such. Maybe better to get down the line as an additional ship for more specialized tasks, or just because it looks ludicrous. Forward swept, downward swept wings. Looks like a bug. Okay, enough hating. Let's go over to some more loving. Now, some of you might already recognize this beauty behind me right now. This is the best ship of Star Citizen according to 2021 or 2951 Ship Showdown. This is the Argo Cargo or the Argo MPUV. The one you're looking at is the Argo MPUV 1C. It's unarmed. It's a utility ship. It's very small. And it has one job, and that is to carry cargo from one place, typically the ground, to another place, typically a cargo ship in orbit, for example, or the other way around. Or it can be used between two close proximity locations on ground. The reason why they have to be close is because this bad boy does not have a quantum drive. So if you want to go somewhere, 1,000 meters per second is the very best you can hope for, and that's without atmosphere getting in your way. So yeah, if you want to go max speed of 300 kilometers per hour in Atmo, this is your bad boy. No, actually, I think the reason this one, apart from the memes, is that the popularity contest that is the Ship Showdown every year same ships are in the lead every year. The Constellations, the Carracks, right. It's just the expensive ships. This one isn't an expensive ship. It's a throwaway ship. But it exists, and I think some fans want to show CIG that hey, we love the fact that you also make ships like these that aren't trying to be even bigger and better than the last one. Like, fuck the power creep. We're not looking to be superheroes. We're looking to play and enjoy a universe that is believable beyond what anyone could have hoped for 10 years ago. So ships like these need to exist. So you can say this is the little engine that could. Yeah, winner of the Ship Showdown 2021. Right, next on our list are some very boring ships that nobody wants. Nobody care about these guys. These are some simple single-seater fighters that cost $250 to pledge for if you don't want to buy them in game. You want to own them on your account. Yes, that's $250 for a ship that you can't take your friend along inside. That said, half the ship is a cannon, so I guess you can have fun with that. Ooh, by the way, I forgot. Argo Cargo, the MPOV, was the last on our list, and I also forgot to mention that the cargo version isn't the only one. You also have a shuttle version for taking crew members from vessels to port and between locations close by. So this is the cargo, and then you have just the bottom, the belly of it, swapped out for a shuttle belly instead. Sorry. So that concludes May 24th to May 25th, and the big ass pew pews are then the first on our list for Crusader Industries. So this was this was a train crash. 26th to 27th of May, we have 3 companies. First one out is Crusader Industries, and in my opinion, Crusader have some of the most aesthetically pleasing, clean lines, just good design ships. They're not actually that big on ship design in lore, but they do design ships. Well, that's wrong. They're very large in producing large ships, like cargo freighters, and just like big scale is the name of the game at Crusader. That's also why they chose to purchase the planet now named Crusader, because it's a gas giant where they could create floating ports to build and maintain ships without having to have them sitting heavily on ground in Atmo, but rather floating easily in a equilibrium layer of gas. I just died in game. Well, that's fine. Now you have 2 versions here. You probably know all about these. The black guy to the right is the Inferno with a huge Gatling gun, firing physical projectiles, bullets. Very, very, very destructive, but somewhat limited for long-lasting battles. So you'll easily be able to come in, tear apart whatever target, and go back home. No worries there. I've seen fighters being torn to shreds in 1 or 2 seconds max. And this bad boy carries, I think it's 3,000 something rounds. So you can keep that trigger held in for a long time. But if you're talking huge battles, hours on end, with nowhere to rearm, it is somewhat limited. It's a very good first in, first out kind of ship. Go in, shred the competition, then leave the rest to your colleagues with maybe more lasting power. Now the white ship on the left there is the Ion, and it's equipped with an energy weapon, a laser cannon, um, which well, maybe a little bit slower and a little bit more, well, less destructive before it goes through the shields, because it completely stops at shields. It does tear those shields down pretty quickly. I mean, look at the size of that thing. And since it's an energy weapon, all you need is time for that baby to recharge, so you can stay in the fight for longer. Both of these guys are insanely dangerous on the battlefield, and they're specifically made to take down capital class threats. So yeah. Next on the list is the Star Runner, the Mercury Star Runner, and another fan favorite for single crew, like not multi-crew, but single crew gameplay. This is maybe one of the most popular ships. It's definitely a beauty to look at. It's a little bit uneven, just like the Ares ships. The Mercury is not completely symmetrical, and it's specifically designed to be a ship carrying stuff. Thing is, this is intended to be a smuggler's choice, because it has some hidden compartments and whatnot. But of course, when you have the internet, everybody knows about the hidden compartments, so it's more for the roleplay than actual use. Probably will have a lot to say when, well, later down the line. But it's a beautiful ship nonetheless, and definitely a good choice for the discerning pilot out there. Right? Yeah, definitely recommend you give this one a test. Next on the list are the Hercules. Hercules. Now, the Crusader A2, C2, and M2 Hercules, M2 being the one we're looking at here, are known as the Star Lifters, and their shtick is that they can carry a lot of heavy shit and fly pretty decently in the atmo down to the ground and up again with those very heavy things. The M2, like we see here, is made for specifically for military use. It's tactical, it's potent, it has durability, maneuverability, and it can carry several tonks. So, and of course, personnel. So it's a very, very good tactical ship to have. Then you have a version that is called the C2, which is the cargo version. It does not have the same durability, armor, absolutely not the same firepower, but it does carry so large amounts of cargo, and it can also carry tanks, stuff that it's also used by the military for that purpose. And then you have the A2. The Hercules A2 is the bomber that, well, you can imagine this size and payload. You can level any enemy compound. So yeah, the Crusader Hercules, A2, C2, and M2. I enjoy the design of the C2 because it has the same color scheme like the Mercury Star Runner that we just looked at. So the Crusader C2 to me is my choice of poison, but I'm guessing the M2 will be M2 or A2, actually the bomber. I think the bomber gameplay will be very, very good when it's good at all. Right now it's just fun, and those bombs are devastating, so yeah, maybe I'll give that a spin. That's it for... And there goes the 317.1 live. That's why I was disconnected. Alright, right, that's it for for Crusader. Now we also, on the same dates, May 26th and 27th, have some TUMBRIL land systems. Now the TUMBRIL, I think, only have surface ground vehicles. And here we have the Tonk again, the TUMBRIL Nova tank. A heavy tank with devastating weaponry and very good maneuverability. Badass stuff. No more explanation needed, I guess. Next you have the TUMBRIL. TUMBRIL comes in 4 versions. No, the fuck am I saying? Cyclone, the TUMBRIL Cyclone. 4 versions. The one we're looking at is the TR, which is meant to support infantry. It's a combat buggy with a turret, a manned turret. Then you have the RN version that is a powerful scanner instead of the turret. So it's basically meant to drive around and map everything, do extreme recon. Then you have the MT. The MT comes with some anti-air capabilities, with surface-to-air missile launchers and a ballistic cannon, which can be used both versus air and ground. And then you have the Cyclone AA anti-air, which is 100% anti-air, with EMP functionality and anti-air missile launchers. So yeah, devastating if it gets close to air targets. And these guys are made to move. As you can see, they're extremely good at terrain movements on the ground. So if you want to have fun on the ground, why not give a Cyclone a spin? And then that's it for TUMBRIL. And then you have the Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern, hereon known as MISC, M-I-S-C. And out of the gate, we go with the most iconic MISC ship of them all, the Freelancer, maybe also the most recommended MISC ship. On the general basis, just if you want a pretty sizable single player ship, the MISC Freelancer is the way to go. In this image, I think we see three versions. Yes, we have the MISC Freelancer Max closest to us. That's not available during Invictus, and then to the right, I think we have the Freelancer DUR, which is also not available during Invictus, but in the background there, we have the Freelancer MIS or MIS. It stands for missile, and holy shit does that thing pack a lot of missiles. So the freelancer missed the gray and orange thing. I think that's the one in the background there. They're pretty much looking alike and behaving the same in air, but that one has so much missiles you can tear apart most targets just with missiles. It's described as a limited edition militarized variant, but it has missiles. Also, it has guns, of course, but holy shit, it has missiles. Anyways, but if you want to do freight, the Freelancer Max close to us might be the way to go. And the Dur is made for going far with extra gas tanks and everything. So that's the difference between those three. Right, next on the list is one I don't really understand how is a military vehicle, the Razor. But hey, if we can have fun with it, I'm not complaining. The Razor is the Formula One of Star Citizen. Can't really. Oh, excuse me, I just saw the version we'll be seeing at Invictus is the Razor EX, the Stealth Edition of the Razor, with signature reducing materials and low draw components. So a way to quickly move strategically through terrain unseen. I don't know. Yeah, interesting. Maybe I'll give that a spin myself. We have two more MISC ships to go through. Next on the list is a very controversial ship, the MISC Reliant Tana. Now, well, in this image are all three versions, but the Tana is the one we'll be able to try. And the thing about the Tana is that on paper, it's not as good as any other ship in any school. That's what I've heard, anyways. But I've also heard that anyone that ever had this and then upgraded it to something else went on missing it, feeling like they should have kept it. I think there's something about just the personality of this ship that makes it so unique and popular. So this is a easier to love, easier to hate kind of ship. The way it's flying in the image is one out of two modes. It can also flip the wings to the sides to get a different flight profile and flight behavior. Easy to maintain, versatile, and lightweight fighter is all they have to say about that. So I'll definitely be giving that a spin on the 26th and 27th of May. And then finally, for these 2 days, we have the MISC Starfarer Gemini refueling platform that has just begun to see gameplay. So people are refueling left and right these days in air. And it does also come with a missile launcher and some pew pew. So you can do a little pew pew if you need, but it's mainly meant as a support ship to refuel far away from home, to put it that way. And that concludes May 27th. And now, finally, well, actually, we have 4 more days of Invictus, but the 2 coming days, 28th and 29th of May, are marked in large red letters, Drake Interplanetary. Why they get so much attention on the schedule, I don't know, but Drake Interplanetary are maybe the leading military style ship producer, I don't know. And we start off with the Drake Buccaneer. It's a light fighter that just goes all in to do damage. Heavy damage light fighter. Do I need to say more? Single seater. A lot of people swear to it for bounty hunting and some for PvP. Next on the list is one that might not be so military by itself, but it's a heavy commercial freighter for multi-crew personnel. So you have one seat here for the cargo, one seat here for the flying, and one seat here for the shooting. And it's definitely an interesting ship. Maybe one of my favorite designs in the game. Caterpillar, you see why it's got that name. Very popular amongst less legitimate circles. Incredible cargo capacity. Really fun, and all these doors can be put down. So I've even seen some concept drawings of this being used as a mobile vendor platform, like a very large, I don't know, food truck. Next we have, maybe I've said that 3 or 4 times, but the most popular starter upgrade, the most popular ship to fly around with, single player, but it's very decent for multiplayer. It has a lot of playability for multiplayer, like it does have manned cannons, it does have a lot of interior space. You have 4 variants, and the Cutlass Black that we see in the back here is maybe the most common one to find out in the verse. Pirate's favorite, very versatile, lots of cargo space, lots of combat firepower. Then you have the steel version in the front here. Dropship and gunship is what they're calling it. It does not have the same cargo capacity, but definitely one to be feared in the sky. Then in the front here you have the Cutlass Blue. The Drake Cutlass Blue is basically the police car. It has missiles and a fast engine and holding cells again, instead of or in the cargo bay instead of cargo space. And then over here, maybe the most useful until recently, the medevac version, the Cutlass Red. The cargo hold is a well-equipped medical facility instead, with 2 med beds. Used to be that you could respawn in those. I don't know if you can that still, but hey, it has medical beds. You can at least fix some really serious damage. So yeah, definitely give these guys a look. Might be that you figure out that this is your next ship, one of these guys. And then last on the list, no, sorry, I almost forgot this little guy, the Dragonfly. So the May 28th, May 29th again, during the Drake Interplanetary, you'll be able to try out this very, very fast and agile hovercraft. So if you like some low flying speed, this will be fun for you. It's also a 2-seater, so you can bring a friend. And then, finally, in my opinion, the most unique and interesting design of all ships in Star Citizen, the Drake Herald. It's also one of the least known ships, because it has absolutely no gameplay value at the moment, apart from it's a ship, you can fly in it. But the Drake Herald's strength is that it very securely stores sensitive data and can transport it at blistering speeds. So this is a ship for data delivery, transport, which is not a thing yet. But holy shit, this thing is iconic. You just have to see this thing fly. It just looks great. But yeah, so I'm really a fan of the Herald, the way it looks. And that concludes Drake Interplanetary. And May 30th and May 31st are not any other ships. Those days are all ships all at once available to use for 2 days. So May 30th and 31st you'll be able to go back and retry any ships that you felt like you needed another go, or maybe didn't catch one of the days. If you at least make sure to come in May 30th, 31st, you'll be able to test all vehicles from the previous days. And end of 31st, free fly ends. And if you don't own the game, you'll just stop being able to play it. Yeah. And of course, during this entire thing, I think all of these ships and more will be available to pledge for on the RSI sites if you want to spend more money than necessary on a game that is not coming out for several years. I do, but not recommended. Right. One final ship that we haven't talked about that will be kind of available during Invictus is the Javelin. During Invictus, the Javelin will be made available not to fly, but to walk through and take a guided tour through an active in-service Aegis Javelin destroyer, and enjoy the show with the entire Invictus fleet in flight, including the RSI Bengal. So yeah, check out invictus2952.com for more information about the event. And enjoy the free flying, and of course, take it easy, be patient. The game is buggy as hell, and it will absolutely not perform better than usual when thousands of free players are jumping in to try it out. So be a little bit patient, but I think you'll have a blast. Thanks for joining in, and I guess I'll see you in the black, see you in the verse. Have a good one.